Okay, so the time has arrived that we are gonna try to do the impossible. Now, jokes aside, so what happened? What happened is the following. Okay, so factory breach. So this just turned out to be too easy. How do I? Oh fuck! How do I? Okay, so this has turned out to be too easy, as in not too easy, but the wrong way to approach it. I I kind of have, I guess I've gotten lost a bit in terms of, what's the right setting to learn stuff, right? And what are we trying to learn? We're trying to learn, um, we're trying to learn AI, and we're trying to learn how to vibe code, or how to do AI assisted coding. I fucking hate it. Vibe coding, the name vibe coding, because it just like becomes synonymous of like no brain, no look, like no kind of caring about stuff. Which, I mean, in a way, it's sort of, it's just embracing the fact that um, eventually we won't need to look at code anymore. And that's what I want to do. So I want to do some sort of the more extreme AI powered coding where I'm not looking at the code. I need to develop the muscle of working like these. I need to develop the risk tolerance to working like these. I want to develop all this stuff by just jumping straight into the pool, into the cold water, where it's like you just build stuff. Now, the problem is, I mean, that is okay. So I'm playing with these on one side. This is neural prototype here, and then there is, so that's fine. That's one thing that I think I'm gonna keep um, chasing a bit as an idea of like, cool, now it seems to be working, it's pretty good, but like, what do I do next, right? So once I get it to work, and it does pretty good job. So to be honest, if you look at some of the inference runs that I tried, it's like, it's not bad at all. It's like, I run this with hello, what was the command? The command was like something like hello, or even the trees are green when it's the trees are green when it's the Prother and the Seer, Amanda. I mean, it's just bullshit, but at least it's something. And it's not too much. And it's like, hello, my name is Shawl Bear to the goal. Does this mean at all? Does this mean anything at all? Does this mean anything at all? Where do I have my epic heavy metal browser? Let's go to Grok. Grok. Does this sentence mean anything? Because that's like Shakespeare stuff. Yeah. Bitterness, resentment, the gall of defeat shall bear to the gall. Anyway, the point being here is that once this is so, it's what I want to do is I realize that I like to work. I kind of feel like I wouldn't. I want to build an agent myself. Why? Because I feel there's a lot to learn there and a lot to explore. And ultimately, I think what matters the most is this is crazy. It's crazy scary that you might end up relying on a service provider to actually code, or to actually tap on intelligence. And this is scary because it means that whether it's Replit, whether it's and it's not about Replit. It's like whether it's Factory AI. I mean, all these guys use probably OpenRouter, or use like some sort of like API directly interfacing with the different models in here. But that is kind of what's scary, right? It's like, okay, these are good things, but like, I don't know, you're kind of dependent on them, and I don't really kind of like that a lot. I like the idea that eventually, in a few years from now, you're gonna have um, your own small compute cluster at home, your own like tiny box, right? Something that is good enough to run a good coding model. Like, again, how much better can this get? And it's just, the thing is, those models will keep getting smaller and more efficient, and at some point you'll be able to easily run one by yourself. And you know, if you're building this for yourself just as a single user, it's not that complicated, because you don't have to deal with all the inference costs that these companies go through, because these companies have to deal with the fact that their model is going to be called like millions of times a day, and so the costs of inference are huge. But in you know, and in the efficiency as well, right? All I want to do is I want to have a tiny box. I want to have a tiny box. I want to have my own GPU, mini GPU cluster, or I want to have my own, you know, maybe it will be with the Extropic chips. I don't know, whatever it is. Like, have your own thing physically at home that you can maybe SSH into if you're remote, and that has something that is open source, that you know, that you can just also build on top of if you want to, and that's what you're using to code. Because yes, you still rely on the model, but then the model is there, is yours. You're not relying on a third party service provider, right? Uh, Nowadays people can't code without the internet anyway, right? uh, I mean, uh, even if you can from a memory perspective, from like a coding muscle memory perspective, you're still going to need libraries to be installed. You're still going to need things that, like, if you don't have internet and you don't have some dependency installed in your local machine, you're going to be fucked up anyway. So that's not a problem. The problem is that, you know, while these models are currently also not too expensive, you're kind of like dependent on that, and then it's like you're paying for every single stuff that comes out of their asses, models. And at the end of the day, once you have inference, you're just paying for your electricity bill, right? So, and if you have solar, then that's free intelligence. So I want to do that. I don't know how long it'll take me, and I want to do this all in like in videos like these, not like built in public shit, like build this, build that. No, like I want to record myself doing these, and I wanna do it the transparent way, the full unedited way, where I'm just go from scratch. And that's what I'm gonna do now. Obviously, we're gonna do this using these tools first, right? So we're gonna be using these tools to actually build an agent that I can just run locally. First, this agent will run against Open Router, so that's fine. So we'll run against Open Router, but then what I'll do is swap the Open Router later on this year to like a local, because I don't have any GPU. I'm GPU poor. I don't have any serious hardware to work with yet. So once I have that, then I'll replace this with like a local model. Hell, maybe just a DeepSeek or something like that. Doesn't really matter, or a Llama-based one. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I want to do, and that's going to be, I think, the project for the next months ahead. So to be honest, we want to start from scratch. I'm gonna let that. I'm just gonna stop these. I'm gonna pause this project. I'll go back to this eventually. So this project will stay somewhere here. But what I want to do is I just want to start a new session. Hey, you work. Want to start a new session? Are you going to decide to work today or not? Don't do this to me. Shit. Factor bridge. Quit. Brother, this was working 2 minutes ago. Not connected. Okay, that's good. That's good already. Invalid pairing code. This means there's something running. failed to connect. Enter new code. Okay, at least something's worked well now. Breach paired. There we go. Okay, but first we're gonna do some grok brainstorming. I like to brainstorm with grok much more. So we're gonna do some deep thinking and deep search. Not deep thinking. What are we gonna do? Deep search, deep think. To be honest, I don't know what is the best option. I want to build a software development agent. Yeah, agent. It should be an agent I can run locally, and the agent can hook up with OpenRouter API. Later on, we'll do local models as well, but we can guarantee that they'll be API compatible. Exactly. So how should that work? So help me understand potential implementation idea or implementation strategies. I know I want to copy a feature ISO on X related to being able to actually edit the output of the model before it's fed back as new context. I want you to think at first principles in terms of how AI assisted coding can look in the future. Looking at code is not the primary function, but we definitely want to embed some validation concept in the tool. You know, I kind of wanna do a bit of a, you know, that's why does it have to be an IDE, right? Why does it have to be an IDE? It can be something completely different. Why does it have to be an IDE? Well, essentially it will create files. Essentially it will program, right? Whether you like it or not, it's going to program. At least at this stage, you're not going to create other assets or whatever. It is going to code. But why does it have to be an IDE? Like, why does it have to be a text editor? I mean, you want it to edit text, but why does it have to be, right? And then also, obviously, should have access to the computer tools. I mean, yes and no. We can start small, right? So it doesn't have to have access to like to be able to actually run your computer, like computer use. But it knows obviously command line stuff, and then you can just ask it to give this to you so that you can run it, right? But I mean, computer use could be an interesting, cool feature to these because you want it to be able to use your computer, right? So you definitely want the agent to have computer use capabilities. But it can be something that we iterate towards in a later version. like how do I work mostly with these, right? So I basically kind of tell it what I want, right? I just kind of tell it what I tell the agent what I want. Because an agent, what is an agent? An agent is an agent is probably just it's just a while loop, right? It's just a while loop, and then obviously what it tries to do is it tries to actually run commands. It tries to do things in your laptop as well to make it a bit more easy, but like it knows what it has to do, right? So it kind of has it probably has a built-in mental process, as in like first make a plan, then figure out what files you need, file structure, then code those, generate me those files. Like it probably has something that is structured like these. You know, because that is what do I want this for? I want it for this kind of stuff. I wanted to code. I wanted to basically code projects. I want to build stuff with it, like what I'm doing now here with the neural prototype thing. I want to be able to do these, but also just research, also just like build a script to do something, help me understand this, help me understand that, help me code this, help me code that, whatever. It's just really I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, what is workspaces, by the way? Group files, chats, and custom instructions for seamless, organized workflows. Okay. Personas, yeah. I mean, let's get started. Like, give me a few ideas on architecture, validation process, interesting features. See what it does. Let's start here, and then let's kind of start a fresh new session. Yeah, and we're gonna essentially. Okay, so I need to connect the new session. That's interesting. Yeah, okay, edit. But I wanna, what I wanna do is I wanna ANSYS. So I wanna go to ANSYS factory, and that's gonna be new folder agent. We're gonna call it agent. Oh, root directory. It's fine. Root directory is factory connected. Okay. Codebase Explorer, Advanced Codebase Explorer. So local repository. Add a new repository. Oh, but it doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't really actually have one. Maybe. Okay, so maybe I can do the following. Go into the agent. Go into the agent folder and start a Git repo that I can push to GitHub. I need to use these though. Create branch. I want to give it access to all these, but I don't know how that works. As in, like, can it just do these? Like, okay. So let it just start a clean repo. We're gonna make this repository public on GitHub. I mean, I don't even know what I have in GitHub on GitHub. Let me just go check. GitHub. So, am I even? Oh, bro, what do I have in here? What is these? Assets, ANSYS. Oh, these are all some old stuff, man, in here. Lol. I think give me a second. There's a couple of things that I definitely want to get rid of because this is all shit. Delete this repository. I want to delete this repository. Unexpected bad things can happen. Okay. I need my phone. What do I need my phone? I need to confirm access. And what now? Confirm digits. Approve. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to delete these and these guy. I'm gonna have everything else public. Sorry, these are all stuff. I'm not showing this on screen. These are all things that I want to get rid of anyway. Delete, because these are all things. These are all things. Cool. And then here we also have these guy. And we're gonna delete this repository. Cool. And I think that's it. To be honest, my GitHub is pretty poor, actually. So it looks like these. And we've probably got to change the picture to match our cool X picture. Let's do that. I'm getting distracted, I know. Profile. Let's go. Save image. And downloads. Let's go. Upload a photo. Yep, that's cool. And then definitely the website should not be this one, but it should just be uncertain systems. It's not even X. It's wow. This is so old, bro. I need to put these here. So update profile. Yay! Cool. Done. Your profile. Yeah, let's go. Look, clean. Yeah, I have a clean timeline, and these are sheet projects, and probably I'll just delete some. I'll delete all of them. Anyways, where were we? So we're gonna go here. So we definitely want to do something where, okay, so what is it telling me here? To build a software development AI agent that runs locally and connects to OpenR's API. Strategies also, okay, so local setup and API interaction environment. Choose a language and framework you're comfortable with. It's Python. Yeah, probably Python. Set up a local application to handle API requests. OpenRT API is OpenAI compatible, so we can use the SDK. A conversation loop and with editable output. So store the conversation history in a list or database, and build a loop where the model generates a response, pauses for user review, and allows editing before adding it to the context. This mimics the feature you saw on X, giving you control over the agent's understanding. Interface, a command line interface for simplicity, or a web-based UI to display and edit responses after editing. This is the most interesting question. I don't know what the best is, to be honest. Do I want a browser interface? Like, then I need to probably have a local server somewhere. I mean, that might make sense because I might want to put that online. Yeah, but again, not online, not at all. actually, because that's what I'm trying to. So that's the point. That's the point is not to have extra dependencies, but just if I can SSH out. But of course I need internet for that, right? If I have the machine somewhere else, I'm not gonna code in the machine where at the end of the day, when the thing is done, I'm not gonna code in the machine where the project is, or where the GPUs are. So I will need some sort of I'll need to kind of go in there anyway. So the question is, what is the best kind of interface for these? Do we want to have something that is just a CLI interface? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest, or a web interface, or an IDE, right? First principle AI is okay. Rethinking coding assistance. Instead of prioritizing code generation, focus on validation, ensuring code is correct and efficient. From first principle coding is about some problems. Reliabilization should solutions that are just produce them. Validation integration, but tools like linters, static analyzers, or test runners to check code quality. The AI can suggest fixes, validate logic, generate test cases. That's boring. That's a bit boring. Computer use capabilities. Architectural ideas, module extension architecture, API service, conversation manager handles the conversation history, code validator, executor, future controls computer use. This module design lets you develop and test components independently. Set up locally, API integrations, conversation loop, validation features, plan for computer use. Okay. Test generation, security scanning, documentation assistance, learning mode. It's all pretty boring. I'm gonna tell you these. This seems very boring. There's nothing interesting in here. Local models. Yeah. It's all pretty boring, to be honest. Okay, so what does it do? The git reserve the agent folder pushing to GitHub. Start by checking the folder exists, accept. Okay, let's just do an initial setup first, and let's just use the rest of the time to think about these. How do I want to interface with these? IDE, option 1, IDE. Option 2, client interface. Client, CLI, like a shell command line interface. Option 3, like a web app, even if it's like a local web application. I don't think there's any other options, are there? Because why would I develop an app for Mac? Why would I develop like a native app for anything? I mean, it's either web or nothing. It's either web or shell. Yeah, it's either web or shell. It's either web or shell. If I want to be able to edit the output, I need something that is powerful enough to edit the stuff, right? That makes it a little more. That makes it a little more tempting to go with the edit like an IDE way. And I know Yasin is using the NeoVim stuff, right, which I've never used at all before. He's using NeoVim, I think, right? Because NeoVim is open source, isn't it, or not? Or what's the thing with NeoVim? So what's the thing with NeoVim? Features, NeoVim features. So job control, LSP framework, Lua scripting, parsing engine, providers. What is these? Remote plugins, shared data, terminal emulator, UI. All features against the VM, which ships various combinations of hundreds of options. Feature complete. Okay. Architecture. Why is NeoVim? Why is he using NeoVim? That's what is so good about NeoVim that makes it so appealing. Store. vision roadmap screenshots. Screenshots are good. I mean, if it looks like a hacking interface, then it's a good one. Custom start screen and a fuzzy finder. LSP search. GUI screenshots. Okay. Okay. Workspace. I feel like I would have to go with some sort of ID, right? Because why? Because I need to be able to edit. Or no, it doesn't really matter. It just can be an interface. It just can be like a wall of text. It just can be, well, being able to edit text quickly is important. So an IDE has a lot of editing features built in that I won't be able to build otherwise. And yeah, baby's getting fucking hungry. So be right back in a second. Anyway, sorry. I was looking for. I'm distracted. I need to set these up. I need to get these to push it to my GitHub. So can you simply help me push these to my GitHub account? All right. I'm running out of time for today anyway, but I need to think about this. I don't know, like an IDE. Is an IDE an IDE the right thing? Because maybe I don't really even care. Like I can just use any IDE. You know what I mean? I can just use anything to edit. What if it's just all text files? What if it's just all text files and it's some sort of like yeah, I mean, like what I see here, right? I mean, the factory AI interface is pretty neat. You kind of have that basic chat where you have the conversation, then you have a few things like the context, and then eventually you get a window to a file. And if you would just make the chat editable somehow, like maybe that's just it. Like I think I'm even almost like willing to go this way, because like the editor stuff is not necessarily what I want to, right? Baby needs some attention. See you next time.